Listen, I think we deserved a third map, Vince. And I think FURIA had to fight tooth and nail to get themselves over the line there on Nuke. It looked like Liquid's map pick, the bit of a curveball, as Christine so aptly named it, almost had FURIA caught off guard. That overtime could have been, but it wasn't. And now we find ourselves on Inferno, where, as our experts have said, both these teams so very comfortable. So I think that this just makes for the perfect storm. We've got two of the best teams in North America at the moment. We have the biggest success story of the return to online CS now on the side of Liquid in the form of Grim. And they are both, these teams, one map away from being your grand finalists.
Everything to play for. Doesn't matter how FURIA skated by the skin of their teeth on Nuke. It's all reset. Effectively comes down to a best of one. Henny dropped early on to the hands of Twist, and now Stewie2K going to be asked to fend off the oncoming tees. Grim pushed at the back of the site. That pistol aim is true. It is crisp and carves into the head of Art, looking for another one, but Yuri denies it. Oh, Yuri spins around and perforates the smoke for a second frag. But because the pressure has consistently been applied, Liquid now have the player advantage in this post plant, albeit with Stewie on 4 HP. They do have a kit. Only a decoy alongside it. Vinny comes in for one. Going to be spinning back out again, but can't pivot into a second. And now K-Serrano holds the line for the one frag. Twist is low. He is lumbered. He has been fragged down. And K-Serrano will take the first pistol for FURIA in our all-important decisive third map.
Hell yeah, he will. Yuri, I mean, this one's so nice. Just tapping through the smoke with no confirmation. And he gets that beauty of a kill. K-Serrano, small pit, both frags. A little disjointedness coming in between the CT peak and the Coffin's wrap. K-Serrano will absolutely make the most of that. So 224 ADR in the pistol for him. And the force up from Team Liquid. I think Grim adds a lot of firepower to these kinds of force buy rounds. That 5-7 has turned heads across the event. Let's see if this can be another one of those moments. We had such a back and forth affair going down on Nuke's second half. Art, he will be sidelined by Stewie. The CZ gets the best of Art's head. Naf picks up the MAC-10.
Oof, that grenade. Gonna sting K-Serrano. Liquid looking good in this force buy. Very least going to make FURIA work for it. You don't expect they keep all 4 players alive come the end of the round. So Liquid poised for serious damage. And if you look at the overall kills, by the way, it goes to show how close this series has been. 8 of the 10 players, 40 kills or better collectively over these first 2 maps. We are perfectly placed for a very close nail-biter of a finish. Another dink. This time it's Vinny. 3 players. The FURIA, 50 or below HP, but they're getting it done. They're making this low HP work for them somehow, some way. They've cracked open the site, and now Nafly with his MAC-10, looking to rip through the oncoming T's, and he'll do just that. Switches across to the CZ. Perfect positioning to allow his teammates to funnel their way through. One of which is going to join them on Ruins. That's the leash, but he gets wrecked down to 3, partially through the smoke. 10 seconds to play with. Nafly is going to go for the peak and denies the bomb plant. Liquid's force buy with just pistols yields the round.
Yeah, Stewie kicks it off, catching this first player inside of Arch, and then Naf gets all 4 of the frags. The double MAC-10. This one, again, off of the timing of Elige's flashbang. Naf threw a flash for Grim on the bomb site, and it just kind of blinded everybody. Yuri, without vision, spams into Grim to clear out that bomb site, but Naf was so hot on the heels of his opponent that he managed to get in front of them fast enough to shut it down. That MAC-10 making a world of difference. Because if he only has the CZ, if he's not able to pick back up what Stewie had dropped off the first kill, then 12 bullets would not have been enough to follow up with the 4K. Naf now on the M4, peeks into Art, loses his head. Art is the only rifleman of this third round. His teammates, already low on utility, have 2 flashes to their name, but they just got their paws on that M4. Now Twist, he's gonna have to keep his head down. He loses to Vinny on that picked up rifle, and Yuri connects with the Tech 9. Dude, this is just like Nuke. Back and forth and back again. free rifles for FURIA. They get back the Galils and AK they bought in their second round, and the freebie for Vinny, as K-Serrato has yet to leave spawn. I swear to God, if he gets a kill because Stewie thinks he can go save in his opponent's spawn, I'm uninstalling Counter-Strike. That's my protest. That's where I draw the line.
It seems like the CS is safe on your computer scrolling, because I don't think Liquid push down to the spawn. They're just going to retain this B control, and FURIA don't want to push in. They're okay to give them the 2 SMGs. It's not a great deal. And whether they force behind this is looking quite likely. Stewie 1400, Nafly 1500. When you have 2 saved guns, they may very well just go all in and try and work behind them. And they are going to be forcing Liege FAMAS. The rest of the team now picking up their utility. But as you highlighted, this game starting off really where Nuke left off. This will favor FURIA, though. If these consistent force buys come through and it keeps going back and forth, eventually the T's will get the upper hand in terms of this economic battle. So FURIA in the driving seat, not just in terms of rounds, but also the overall bigger picture. Liquid need to battle back, and they're going to go for a 3-player stack to kick things off. This is going to give FURIA a lot of real estate up in middle, and they're going to take it. They're happy to make the most of these advantages.
Oh, Liege, a bit labored, but gets there in the end. Oh, somebody still sneaks through Arch. This is going to put Naf in a compromised position, but oh, he does have a chance here. Vinny backs up ever so slightly, and that'll favor the M4. Has Naf present his skull. But the bomb is very much on his own. Vinny, he can get blindsided right here by Stewie. Yes, sir. Drops that bomb, but K-Serrato drops it back. And now that B site under pressure. Grim is on his own. And his 2 teammates so far removed that it is him and his MAC-10. And that's it. And right now he's on top of the boxes. He saw 2 Ts and he gets aggressive. Somehow Henny doesn't hear that. And now Grim has an excellent spot to hang on because he's tucked around the corners of Banana. He has found a silver lining and just rides it to what could be another forced victory. Yuri through the smoke, just on the side, able to body bag a lead, comes in, great flash. K-Serrato gives that cover needed, and it all falls onto Twist. 20 seconds, and he gets through smoke, but he gets cut down. Yuri, who has been astronomically successful across all 3 maps at this point. Another flying start here, Vince. He bails them out of deep waters. This B site looked like the CTs were gonna lock it down. But Grim gets called back into the action, and K-Serrato's flashbang makes a world of difference.
What was so sick from Grim there? Like, first off, I think FURIA got baited in by seeing 2 players CT side and not anticipating a third would be on the B side. They expected if you're gonna have 3 players B, you probably rotate all of them across the CT spawn. They were unsuspecting. But then Grim sees 2 players perched up. From his vantage point of the boxes, he sees 2 players pushing CT, but because of the range of the SMG that he had, he didn't go for the frag. He went for the secure frag onto Banana and opening up inroads back onto the site again. It was such an intelligent play from Grim that really deserved a much better outcome. And as we're talking over this round, of course, Liquid into an eco. So not really expecting too much, and Liege does have his Desert Eagle, nearly dispatching a Vinny, and Grim with the 5-7. We've seen him do mad things with this gun before, but he will get silenced before he can really pick up any steam, as will Liquid. FURIA off to a cracking 4-1 lead, and Naf going to perch up for potentially some exit frags at best. But the Brazilians looking good. They're looking real powerful on their T side of Inferno.
Naf thinks he's cheeky, but they are shooting right next to him. Maybe somebody comes this way. No, doesn't seem likely. Just gonna smoke it off instead. So yes, 4-1 for FURIA. Rifles all up. Cash being collected as their survivors are a many. You know, the brutal outcome of the Force Wars, Vince, is that once you are the loser, it is very obviously you as the loser. Team Liquid haven't had a chance in hell that round, being so limited with the weaponry, but now they have that buyback instantly. No op for either side. That's fine. You know, this has been a series that's been pretty light on sniper rifles. We never saw it on Henny on the T side of Vertigo. Art had it on Nuke, but it looked more like a shotgun. So really, make of it what you will. Team Liquid calling a pause. 5 rounds deep. Jason Moses O'Toole in the ears of his fresh teammates, trying to get this one under wraps, because if you let FURIA run away with too substantial of a start, you're going to be against the wall for the remainder of it. We saw that on Nuke, Vince. That 6-0, 7-0, whatever it was start kept FURIA in control all the way to the finish line.
One thing we haven't really seen from Liquid yet is taking banana control. They haven't gone all out on utility and tried to press behind it. And this is something that FURIA will do on their CT side, by the way. Spoiler warning, they're very aggressive on banana. So let's see if the CTs go for it. They will. I love to see this. It's making FURIA respect them, but additionally, it stops that pivot from coming into play later in the round and allows Liquid to now rotate one of those players off, potentially even 2 later on towards the side. But look at the aggression. Vinny gets flashed straight into banana and rips apart Stewie. So that rotation I was talking about of Elige now has to come back over on the banana side, and he is looking for that peak. Meanwhile, Grim has a flashbang. He can toss this in, but Elige walks in alone, and the flash is too late. That's so disjointed from Liquid.
Oh, he wasn't anticipating the player to be that close on the walk-up. It looked like he got aim punched as well. He didn't have a helmet. Most of them don't. Must have been through the edge of the wall, that first AK shot or something. But Grim, he is just all the way back. Now there goes the flash. He tries to peek out and sees nothing. Oh, Yuri, he was jumping up, tunnel visioned on it. Naf now trying to connect through the side of the smoke. Will get one, but he's down to 12 HP. And Twist, he could get called into the action, but he's so far removed. That's close. So dangerously close. Just stopping the bomb plant and throwing this 2 versus 4 into question. But I think we already have our answer. FURIA should have this 5th round. Naf and Twist, they're going to try and make it happen. 2 T's stranded in the pit, neither of which is watching coffins. Naf gets 1 before he dies, and Twist, he has more health than the last 2 men combined. Flash goes over top. First peek is there for him to take. But he doesn't have the kit on him. He's got the players dangerously close, but he has to walk away. He cannot close this round. It's FURIA to lead 5-1.
He's trying to keep them busy so they at least die from the bomb, but I think they're going to be okay. Oh no, Quesarado does go down to the bomb, so it's a bit awkward, but you can see the money from FURIA is just fine to replenish that fallen weapon. Again, I go back to what I said before. Liquid, I like the idea. You took banana control, that's great. But that play from Elige going in before the flashbang had a chance to fully pivot, that's a problem. And it also wrecks Grim. Because at that point, they know, okay, we killed Elige and there's another player on B. So they can go for those pre-fire angles. They know Grim is somewhere purchased at the back of the site. And if you look at their utility, they Molotov top of the boxes and they Molotov towards new box as well. So they'd already isolated the potential angles where Grim could be sat, and it was just easy pickings. Grim tried his best, but Liquid, they look so disjointed to me here scrolling on their CT side. Like, this is a far cry from what we saw on the previous 2 maps. Yuri gonna get the freebie onto Elige, who felt compelled to go for aggression. It's a half bite from Liquid, and they're gonna make it work. Twist, big kill from the top of new box. But they now know multiple players are stacked over on B, and so they're going to try their hand over on A site, where Nafly is the last line of defense, but he can hear the pitter-patter of footsteps as the T's start to make a move over on A side. He's landed 2 dinks, the bomb that's gone down with it as well, but he has to reload, and in doing so, that buys up some time, but they're going to be forced into peering over on middle. And this is where Grim can make a stand. This is where he can push through these smokes. He can actually pierce through the middle of them. Information gathered now. They know Yuri is in graveyard, but it's about where the rest of these T's are. And Twist is the last man standing. 1v3, last 3 players are low, but Quesarado holds the line. Nice try, Liquid. FURIA, though, moved to 6-1 lead.
Damn, man. Another incredibly close situation. Naf getting 2 dinks on those players trying to cross past Boiler. The first 2 get in with easy entries. He stops the bomb carrier, but they so quickly pick that back up, and the CZ betrays him. He had to go for the fast reload. All things considered, Team Liquid, this is their chance to make a stand. Now they're on the double sniper setup. It's not easy to contest with FURIA when it comes to banana control. It's not easy at all because they have utility and then some. Great grenades landing on the feet of the first frag. Stewie removed. Grim, wild spray, labored effort, but he connects it in the end. And there's a second player here. It's Elige taken down on the side of Coffins. Oh no. Team Liquid, they had yet another chance. Naf wastes no time, but he survives mere seconds. Twist, 1 versus 3. Another ridiculous round where FURIA, dude, it is a matter of timing and tempo. You know, you ask, why don't they contest with banana? Why don't Liquid try and fight for the base of it? Because the one round they did, Stewie thinks he has control, and FURIA just come running through on flashbangs. They have the largest textbook you've ever seen in terms of timing and tempo and changing between those different layers of their B play. If they get top banana, sometimes they fall silent. If they get top banana, sometimes it's a full-blown hit. Sometimes they send out feelers, and other times they commit. You never know what's coming on this B site, and despite the best efforts of the rotators from Liquid, they are losing this third map in convincing fashion. Vinny has been a difference maker in terms of these entries. Think back a couple of rounds where Grim's in the deep corner, and it's Vinny to instantly take off his head. Yet again, a multi-frag for Vinny. He is 12-4. It's not often that he is at the top of the scoreboard for FURIA, and you could say the same for Yuri at times. But this series, when it matters most, that's why FURIA are lucky to have the talent across the board. So far, so good. 9th round has a Scout and an M4 for Team Liquid, and those 2 rifles have both taken damage already, one of which has a kill. Twists. Catching one at the base of banana and forcing the hand of FURIA to go towards this A site, it would seem. Minute 20 means they have time to turn tail, but Stewie gets aggressive in the apps. And he gets one off his pistol. Now it's Elige's turn with the Deagle just beneath them. He can't quite find the angle. They fall. Bomb now dropped on top of him. K-Serato able to trade it. Elige, hands on the AK. And both those players so close. Far closer than Grim is on the rotate with only his 5.7. Elige, near omnipresent in this pit. Still hanging on to the bomb. And FURIA trying to find timing. But Grim has now arrived in position. And maybe Arch, seeing that, decides to wrap back around Arch.
Bomb down in the pit, though, controlled by Elige. Crossfire can get established, but they are weary of this Arch's push. An Arch's push, albeit with 3 HP, could be the difference maker. It could isolate these 2 CTs from one another. Now Elige is peering back, moving back into pit, a different angle. Grim can now watch over on Arches. This is a great read from Liquid, a great little rotation. But is it going to yield the round? 12 seconds. FURIA, you've got to get a move on. You can't afford to just sit in position anymore. You've actually got to press aggressively. You've got to do something about this. Hart now stuck all alone and gets picked off by Grim, and that is much better from Liquid. Just what they were looking for. Their second round only. But it comes off the back of one of their worst buys and really boosts up their economy significantly. Now they can get an AWP. Now they can feel a little bit more comfortable. But Scrawny, they've been unable to put rounds together before. They have been by and large destroyed on B site. What are they going to change, if anything? Because if they change nothing, they're destined for the same results.
That was a very good question, Vince, and not one that I have answers for. The burden belongs to Team Liquid, and we'll see if they change things up. Stewie has that sniper. This is their chance, man. There's not often, or there won't be more often, better chances than this. Stop the bleeding now. Team Liquid on the brink of giving up the majority of the rounds to the T side of FURIA. 3 players initially towards banana here for Liquid, AWP included. Molly's smoke flashbangs exchanged. Nobody actually fully committing here from either side to taking control of it early. But that's fine, because there is plenty of time to do so. And straight out the gate, they're going to play Art aggressively on that AWP. Twists in the open. Perfectly timed flash. Look at FURIA Everybody in the apps covering their faces from that one. Twist, he needs the tunnel vision right here, right now. Insta-dink and frag onto Art. Yuri cannot trade it back immediately. Elige seeing trajectories of utilities flying over the top of the roofs. But there's still a minute, Vince. Many options open.
Yeah, options definitely on the table. This is whether Liquid want to take them or not. And if FURIA give them that chance. Again, FURIA deciding against these B hits will keep Liquid guessing. Liquid, a decent crossfire getting established on A. 3 players still over here. FURIA have done nothing for Liquid to respect that this could still be a B hit. So no reason to rotate one of these players over. You know you have the player advantage. Nafly playing in the alcove, trying to bypass through flashbangs, but he's already low HP, and that does put him into a position where it's a one and done at best. Good flashbang tossed in, catching players with flashes. Oh, please, triple spray. Unreal plays from the NA Hope, the NA Beast. And now Liquid will have their third.
Yeah, when we were on Vertigo, I said maybe Grim has some of the best rifle work on Liquid, but I think it's just that he's so good, he slots in with the incredibly high ceiling of his teammates. Elige, still the best in the business. Very good control there on the Arch side. Saw his timing, created it off of his own flash as well. Now the Molotov's peppering the face of Case Dorado. He loves playing this close smoke, man. Sometimes he'll wait so incredibly patiently for somebody to try and cheat around it. Flash to the top of it could get him to push through, but there is nothing there for Liquid. It's just Stewie posted on CT cross with Op. And Art, well, he looks to make his entry. But again, nothing being given over here. Team Liquid, they aren't taking big risks. Or at least not in terms of posting up on early angles. Their risk is the fact that they let FURIA get this close. They have constantly encroached throughout the first 40 seconds. Now they are right here on Elige. And can he do it again? Now he's caught playing with grenades. Oh, which lands right on the feet of Vinny. But this A site's definitely in question. Twist and Pit, Naf on site. Twist, not even inside of the pit, but rather just holding in the open, and it's perfect. Up until Art's one op shot, it was flawless. But Art coming in big with the 2 kills nearly for a moment made you believe. However, it's Liquid with a 4th round on the board.
Even though it seemed Liquid had been pivoted and caught off guard, and it was a great read from FURIA, realizing in the previous round they basically gave up middle and arch control. They did push in there, but the damage that Elige did with that grenade, the underhand nade, softened up so many targets. And because they knew he was in library, they felt compelled to push the site quickly before he could wrap and before that smoke depleted. And in doing so, they just walked into the trap. So excellent maneuver from Liquid, poking and probing FURIA, playing this game of chess with them, and then ultimately checkmating them in round 11. However, FURIA, their funds depleted, decide to go in for a force buy. It's a pretty solid force, but that grenade again, the utility from Liquid has been on point. Their ordnance delivering. Stewie, rough game on Nuke, misses his shot, has to turn tail and run away. This puts more pressure on Grim. They stack 3 players over on the A side. Grim's only good for 1. And in doing so, Stewie now is smoked out of position. The aggression from Art through the smoke will be capitalized on from Nafly. And at the bare minimum, FURIA will have a bomb plant. They can pick up an M4 from one of these fallen players. And now they're looking to try and run into the gauntlet, Liquid. They have plenty of utility still. No incendiaries or HEs could be a bit of an issue, but the flashes and smoke should be good. Henny spins around with the 1D, nullifying Stewie, but 2 of his teammates have now gone down from Case Dorado's perspective. His EZ is going to be feeling pretty insignificant, and he goes down without too much of a fight. Liquid successful retake, but it is another plant for FURIA.
That it is, Vince. At least a slight success story. For that B hit, Stewie so flashed off of his first shot that the pressure was on Grim. He puts a smoke down on Nubox in case he was getting mollied, peeks wide, and dies with just the 1 kill. And that's kind of what puts things in question. His rifle's offered over. Penny with a just disgusting 1 dig. You know, that got Stewie's heart racing as he thought maybe it was erasing the chances of a Team Liquid round win. And once more, FURIA, they're sizing up this open banana, Vince. They are getting ever closer. Grim, he's going to be on a different position. Now he has a bit of an angle. Stewie, again, a missed shot, but Grim comes in with the double. Stewie then connects his. And that Molotov forces Art into the open where Lige lies in wait to just clamp down on that final effort of FURIA to get the B site under wraps again. Grim goes big, boosted up early, and then Stewie connects at least one op shot, which really turns the favor back to Liquid, gives that comfort for Lige, as he is the final nail in the coffin for round 13. But the 14th comes at you quick. And the buy here focused on Art. Sometimes you've just got to unleash the beast. Let the K9 go wild. Watch him rip limbs from Liquid. Yuri and Henny taking early utility damage, so it's actually Liquid coming out on top in terms of grenades. A flash for Art meant to burst into short, but he's not going to find anything just yet. Twist is above him. But Art, this is where sometimes he works his magic. He's caught out by Twist, who then peeks out as Vinny was kind of suctioned into what they thought was an open route to the A site. Lige is able to add another to the tally, and Twist falls off of the balcony, just keeping himself alive. Serato dies, and it's a flawless full house between Twists and Lige.
A flawless full house that puts FURIA into a broken situation mentally, perhaps. They've gone from having a vast lead into being tied up at 7 apiece, and it's going to go very much the same way as that nuke, down to the wire. And keep in mind that Vertigo also started really close in the first half, and then Liquid just really stood it up in that second. So FURIA, they'll be pretty disappointed, I think, regardless of if they take this final round, thinking what could have been. And it seems like Liquid, once they got these double ops in play, everything changed. It's not just the fact that Stewie and Nafly have been landing a ton of frags, it's the fact that mentally, you know they're on the table. And FURIA seem to have maybe gone a bit too aggressively as a result of that. Ali sprays through the smoke, but it comes out second best. Stewie gets flashed and fragged by Art, but a position they've not used yet. Grim up on the boost, doesn't get peaked. And now he goes in for more, but that overextension costs him dearly and potentially cost Liquid the round. Twist has made a quick rotation through onto Banana, but he's all alone. There's no foundation for him to build off. And he's making noise. He wants to try and buy up some time and just run straight at the T's, catch them off guard. But now there's another Molotov down. Wherever he moves, the floor is water. And Liquid water at that. And Liquid will get the final and do lead at halftime, going through FURIA 8-7.
Close the window, lock the door so we don't have nowhere to go. Feel the rhythm through your body. Let your soul out, I won't tell nobody. Yes, you feel the heat, such chemistry with your energy. It's filling me. Is it really you? 'Cause it's real to me. Oh, so please don't stop. Up in
just like that first map of the series, this one closes at the halftime as close as can be. And it wasn't looking that way when FURIA started off on Inferno, but Liquid found some footing. And if they can find a second pistol, then we're all tied up at 8. They're looking for it quick. As they charge up to the top of Banana, it's only Twists with 1 kill. Vinny has that double. And K-Serato's got him covered in terms of smoke, but a Gush, regardless, takes Vinny down to the bare bones of surviving that situation. And all the while they were distracted with Banana, Art has slipped past through the A site. But in reality, that just creates a great situation for Liquid where they will take A for free as long as they move up fast enough. Art is hot on their heels.
Depends what decision they come up with as well. Do they try and wrap around B via arches, or do they actually take the A site? Now, I'd assume it would be A site, as they know there's multiple players on B. And yeah, that's coming to fruition, what you said. They've given up A control. This allows Liquid to not only get a bomb plant, but in terms of their post plant, they'll get in all the positions that they could possibly want. They're going to have pit lockdown. They can play some dirty little angles in the likes of Apps, as the bomb is currently planted for Apps. And if they can get this first kill underway, things could look even sharper. But Art did catch a glimpse of Naf fly. That may even give FURIA an idea as to where the bomb is planted. These are little intel and little scouting tips that they've picked up. And he's taking it slowly. So they're going to try and overwhelm Nafly. They know Naf is balcony or Apps. Fury now moves back. They've got a decent crossfire down. And now it comes down to aim. How is he dueling? How is the time management? Additionally, Nafly spins around and gets one. But he's the last man standing. He goes down. It's incredibly close. Is there going to be enough time for this defuse? No. They have to back away. And Liquid successfully take the round and make it theirs.
And kill the last 2 players with the bomb. Explain that to me. On Vertigo, you survive 5 feet away from the A explosion. K-Serato is already through Arch in those little rafters. That's unjust, but I think it's apt for the situation because honestly, it comes down to the time. I think Naf inadvertently wins that by showing a little thigh on the side of Boiler Room because they slowed down their retake attempt to try and catch him out. Maybe he was just tucked in Balk Room. Maybe he was standing over deep on stairs, but he just circumvents their threat by going all the way out balcony, and they tried to chase him down to the wire. That retake came, and I love the buyback from FURIA. They put it all on Art. M4 armored with smoke at the top of Banana. And he's doing a good bit of damage here, softening up a couple members of Liquid. We started off this first half with a back and forth force war type affair. FURIA came out on top of it. It definitely lent the economy to their early advantage. They started off that half lickety split because they had more guns. Henny peeks into middle, sees way more than he'd hoped for, but at least he gets back relatively unscathed. 36 HP shaved off his bar, but his teammate moves over. K-Serato is going to post up in sight. And right now, FURIA, they still have that one M4 on Art coming back towards Banana.
Triple stack on B. Doesn't look like it's going to get tested. Instead, Liquid anticipating the A side will be the easier of the 2, and that is a correct decision. Grim pushing in first with the UMP. 2 smokes been put in place. Good flashbang tossed in. Does stall Grim a little bit longer in case Naruto bring around the pillar. But that will be his final resting place. And with 10 seconds, a bomb plant will be forthcoming. Just goes to show that if K-Serato or his teammate on the A site got a little bit more fortunate with their encounters, things could have got a little bit sketchy for Liquid. Instead, though, M4 seemingly will traverse out of this round in the hands of Art, who wants to save it over on B side alongside Henny. And Vinny is perched up for some exit frags. He did have a really good first half. Again, he's not necessarily one of the players. He did say this, Scrawny, that you're expecting to see at the top of the scoreboard, but he is a man that certainly can pull it off when it's required. And it seems like Inferno is very much a comfort map for him personally.
It's like if Vinny is your 5th piece of the puzzle, you're in a really good place. And I think that's the success story for FURIA, is like every once in a while you get a Vinny top frag and it means you're generally going to win a map. He's trying his damnedest, but the 2nd highest rated player of the event in Art is currently at the bottom of the scoreboard for this second half, Vince. He's yet to find his entries here on the CT side. And Henny, who was the second highest rated player for FURIA coming into this series, is even further down. We'll have to see whether they can turn this around. Art, he's going to get hyper aggressive. Goes off of the flash. He's still working with just that one M4 for the team. And that could have so easily been the opening pick for FURIA here in this 18th round. Elige gets away with so little. Considering what else FURIA have to work with, God, that could have been big. But speak of the devil, Vinny, he is just so committed to this position. Gets a second 1D. Doing more than he is asked to. Setting up his team to perhaps rob back this round. We've got Henny and Yuri, both in the back of this bomb site. And the T's are starting to come over with smokes and fire and fury, but Henny, now is the time. Connects a huge D. Naf, that's lag. Oh, the unfortunate timing. Elige, he too toppled. It's the one M4 and the dirty Deagle damage from FURIA to tie at 9.
You said that Vinny went above what they could have possibly asked for. And look at this second D through the Molotovs. When the pressure was really on, Henny was basically gifted that second frag, and hopefully Naf's all right. Maybe he was just peering into CT and didn't realize the situation ahead of them, but it's good news for Henny. That's his 5th kill of this map, and collectively, he's only picked up 37 kills in 3. And considering how good he was coming into this series, that is surprising, but look at this aggression. Fury pushing the smoke, spins around, and nullifies Art, but Vinny, again, holding the line and stopping this B hit in its tracks. Rotation does come through from FURIA, and now Henny realizes he's out of position. He needs to get back over onto A. That's where Liquid are looking to push.
Stewie's creeping around the arch side just in front of the smoke, so they are absolutely going to abuse that timing, but Henny with the Galil. Hold under question. Hold under threat of crumbling. The 3 T's about to sink their teeth into this. Vinny finding that timing from the arch wrap, but Twist, he has 100 health, the bomb, and 2 CTs that lie ahead. He could even double back, and that's going to put Vinny in a compromised position. Vinny's crouching wide, and he gets his kill. 27 frags for Vinny, a quarter of his health left over, and just the absolute best moment of timing when it came to this arch play. 2 backs turn, as Liquid had their hands full with dealing with the bomb site players themselves. And Vinny is going above and beyond and then some. The man's on the brink of entering the stratosphere. 30 kills to his name. So close to that mark. And we are only at round 20. Just to really put it in perspective, the next closest killer is Yuri at 14. Nobody else with double digits in terms of frag count on FURIA. Vinny is keeping them in this map, in this match, in this grand finals for as long as he can on his own. And this was our question when it came down to Nuke. Yuri stepped up first. Who came next? Vinny's buying time. He's keeping his team afloat as the waters of Liquid slowly rise. But it shouldn't be this round that Liquid add to the tally, not with just the pistols. Case Dorado here inside of the graveyard has a lot of players just flying all around him, but again, they're so equipped for the situation, or ill-equipped rather, that to no one's surprise, Liquid dies and FURIA take an 11th.
We've had some star-studded performances on FURIA. Yuri, Art as well on Nuke, can't forget him, and now Vinny. Case Dorado yet to really jump onto a map and make it his own, and we know he is more than capable of delivering on that promise, but so are Liquid. Yes, they're down. Yes, the momentum is starting to swing in the Brazilians' favor, but do not count them out. They nearly brought Nuke back from a 15-11 deficit into overtime and nearly took us to a 2-0 and stamped themselves as grand champions. But instead, Henny takes the first kill out of round 21. And it's Elige, the man that was destroying on Vertigo, that's been brought back to earth with a bang. Liquid aggressively up on top of Banana. Will be boosting Stewie 2K to peek in at what could be a 3 onto Art. Wasn't anticipating that peek. And Liquid hit and run. Take their kill, force out the rotations. And it seems like A site is where they have their target set. Or do they? With a minute left, they have decisions to make, Scrawny, and they have time in which to make them.
Twist here in the flash. Peeks out ever so slightly. Nothing there. If Liquid do not shy away from this A site, the round should absolutely have their name stamped on it. You can see Grim disengaging from Banana, but do they wait in this no man's land bit of timing? Vinny, he starts to move downwards. Stewie hasn't quite heard it yet. Now he has. He turns back around, and Vinny able to get that kill. His 28th of this map so far. And Team Liquid, they're just going to go with what they wanted. This A play. Grim, good entry versus Yuri. K-Serrano in the open. Almost has the double, but Naf with the drive-by. Galil puts us to the 2v2. And Henny looks to screw over Liquid as he plays close to that smoke, waits for it to fade, and calls the king down from his throne. Vinny still in action. Creeping around the sides of Arch, we've got Twist on Graveyard and Naf back bomb site. Op shot rings off. Vinny's position still unbeknownst. Now he finds that perfect timing. It's Naf who dies. Vinny arrives. 13 kills to his name now. 30.
And the king rules with an iron fist, Scrawny. And he just smacked Liquid in the face again. Not quite the KO, but they are stumbling. They are certainly feeling it. Stars around their heads. Vinny with a 30 bomb. And we still have plenty more Counter-Strike to come up with. Liquid into a half buy. They've got to somehow shake off these cobwebs because their T half just doesn't seem like it's really truly started yet. It's FURIA who are taking the initiative. It's FURIA that are making the plays. And we know they're an aggressive CT side Scrawny. This isn't a surprise. And it shouldn't be to Liquid either.
What can they make with this one? Limited weaponry. They've got the utility, and they do have a little bit of timing here. FURIA kind of staggered with that B control. They just can't afford to die to the flanks. Good softening bit of damage there by the grenade. K-Serrano on site. Lines up the first. Yuri offering kills as well, but it's Grim and Naf to claw it back ever so slightly. 2v2 ensues, and Vince, we're here again.
Familiar territory, the tag team duo. We thought this game would be close, and my has it delivered. Nafly and Grim. Surely Liquid convert one of these chances. They've had plenty. It's not been a complete shutout. This time, Vinny still alive. Smokes and flashes being exchanged between the two teams. Vinny will have adrenaline coursing through his veins, but it's Art that comes in first. Time is starting to get scarce. Grim can hold on, but Vinny with the white swing. It's where the M4 is really showing its weakness compared to the AK. Insta headshot from Vinny, and FURIA 13-9. Another chance goes begging from Liquid.
Damn, they put so much pressure on Grim in pit to make that play. He just allowed his enemies rather, to walk up on Naf, who was just hiding back sight. By the time Naf gets a chance to fight, because of his passiveness, that op barrel's already just straight to the forehead. Grim then decides not to peek off of it. You can see him trying to play the time because it was so incredibly low. He goes for his first engagement. He hits the headshot. What more can you ask of him? But the M4 is less than the AK. And that moment right there with Vinny, who is not missing headshots himself, just goes ahead and proves it. Now it's Art, who has at times taken over maps and matches, but not this one here on Inferno. He still struggles to get his 10th kill. Yuri getting aggressive, and Abs is caught out by Twist. That could be the open route back to the A site. Team Liquid, in back-to-back post plants on A, have let the rounds slip through their fingertips. But at least they know they have enough success to get that damn bomb down. Does that magnetize them towards it? Or do they rock the boat back towards B? Vinny aggressively peeking down. Banana gets caught. He does kill Grim, but it's 3 players for Liquid to charge headstrong towards that B site. And if Art dies to this in twists, then it's sayonara. 10th round for Liquid confirmed.
Yeah, it's looking like a save. Their economy, no great shape. And this is where Liquid, they had to persevere. They had to still have confidence. The last 2 rounds have been post-plant retakes in 2v2s. So simply put, Liquid, could easily be 11-11 at this point, and they know that. They know they've been so very close. Yes, it's disappointing. Yes, they probably should have won at least one of those rounds, but it doesn't matter because the economy is broken down, and now FURIA forced into a save. They will retain, however, Scrawny, both AWPs. That is significant. Vinny, tons of cash, can replenish some of those fallen weapons. So with these two saved AWPs, I'm anticipating a full buy from FURIA, and Liquid not out of the woods just yet, but they are getting closer and closer to safety. FURIA are going to try and keep them submerged. 9.9k, so more than enough money for Vinny to drop. Henny could even drop if he needs to. Surely you buy behind these two AWPs. Indeed they will.
God, Vinny's got to be on the cusp of some records, Vince. 32 frags, 23 rounds deep. How much more does he have to offer? Utility usage to the top of mid, deep mollies. Lots of utility coming out of FURIA here. Absolutely commandeering control of Banana early. And this is why. Art posted on the wall. Smoke up. Oh. They go for the double frag, and there's an M4 up close. This plays right into the hands of Vinny and Art, who is just there behind him. 2 kills immediately for Liquid. They think they could just pummel their way through, anticipating somebody behind Wood, but not thinking about that M4 close. Henny now contested on Arch, shuts down Elige, goes back for the repeak perhaps, but it's gonna be a little too late. There's room for Naf and Twists. The Canadian combo ready to take over this A site. They have to unearth Yuri from pit and deal with K Serato up close. They're buying their time, and Yuri, perfectly timed, goes for the double spray down. 5 survivors standing as FURIA find 14.
Just make sure you save some cash for Vinny here, FURIA, because he's going to need a chiropractor with some serious readjustments after this game. Like, the amount of carry is actually ridiculous. And it's not to say that the rest of FURIA are bad players. Not at all. One of the best teams in the world. Fighting for being the best team in NA right now. But Vinny has just been so exceptional. And it's not even that FURIA necessarily have had that many chances. When Vinny is putting down 33 frags in the 25th round, the guy's clearly just been gobbling all of them up. If anything, he's greedy, Scrawny. Give your teammates some kills.
Give him a chance. Or keep it up. Whatever works for FURIA. Grim gets that entry quick on Balk, and they're just going to try and push headstrong into the A site. Stewie, good timing through that smoke, gets the best of the first rotator. Art coming in quickly from that short side. Elige throwing utility. Art's ops up, but Twist keeps him pinned down, and it's all on Vinny. Come on, buddy. Oh, I want so bad for him to try and go for the clutch just because of his individual play. But Vinny, with that smile, you know he's just such a nice guy. He's going to think of the economy, and he's going to put his ego aside. Liquid taking over their 11th round, and we are getting ever closer to the waning few moments of this Grand Finals 3rd map.
Best example of not judging a book by its cover is Vinny. He may seem like a placid, docile, kind guy, but he is ruthless on the server.
Sure.
He has been wrecking faces, and with this saved AK, they can buy again. This is the reason he went for it. Whether they do go for a full purchase or not, yet to be seen. But what I will say is that typically FURIA do go for forces in these situations. They are a very aggressive team, not just in how they play in rounds, but also with their buys and their economy. And so you can see here that it's been one of those maps where Liquid, they've got plenty of bomb plants, but they haven't converted a great deal. However, 2 of the last 3 rounds have gone their way. It seems the tide is turning. It seems that things are picking up, but they'll hope a tidal wave doesn't crash across them. And FURIA, with this force, might be picking up some pace of their own.
Really does feel like this little bit of a lead from FURIA really hinges on the 21st and 22nd round. Those 2 successful defuses, instrumental to having kept them afloat thus far. But the waves are getting rocky, and Team Liquid looking to surge into a tied game. Not going to have much margin of error. Art's on his own. They're really starting to bolster up on this A site, and I understand why. Liquid with an affinity for it. Vinny inside of the corner. Quesarado could do such a good job of drawing away the attention, so Vinny can just clamp down on those first two. Perfect play. Excellent setup. And that's only afforded to you with that fourth player being in position, because they still wanted to keep two committed to pit, just in case Liquid try to run something rampant out balk. And now they've had to tuck tail and turn attention towards the B site. Art finding Grim and welcoming the attempt to push past him. He may only have 11 kills, but he has the confidence of a god. Peeks right into them and will not shy away. 3 kills for Art, 15 rounds for FURIA.
4 championship points for FURIA. A chance at a 7-1 overall scoreline against their counterparts, what many think are the 2 top teams in NA right now. And FURIA putting down the mantle one more time. We have a match pause coming on. A technical issue, not the ideal timing, but a chance for both teams to get a bit of reprieve. FURIA will be less happy about this, as it was all the momentum going in their favor. But Liquid in an identical position, Scrawny, on Nuke. 15-11 behind, battled back and took us to overtime. Will lightning strike twice?
Oh, you can only hope, huh? What an awesome match this has been. Back and forth affair. And I mean, Vinny, we've got to have more rounds just so he can get to that 40th frag. So incredibly close. Tech pause resolved. Action set to ensue. Art with the op, able to close versus those 3 players on Banana. Think about what type of mentality you have to be battered across this 3rd map, just to completely rip away any attempt for Liquid to get into that B site. But let's go. Action's live. Grenades to each side of Banana, and Stewie on the side of his smoke. They have gone to the A site far more often, and it's worked. Only last round was Vinny committed to that cubby and gets the 2K spray. Again, the clamp down on the brackets was big. But Team Liquid looking to bolster forces outside of this B site, going back to where Art finished last round. This is going to be a big hit, Vince.
Oh yeah, Liquid, they're not taking their time. All 5 players here, because they've given up map control against a team like FURIA, they've got to go for this, and this could be the last play of the entire tournament, or perhaps not. Twist, beautiful entry onto Quesarado, who was fully flashed. Art playing behind the smokes, anticipating flashbangs, can hear footsteps, nearly gets a 2-for-1. They lined up for him, he took down a leash, partially through Grim, I think that was, and now Vinny just goes aggressively with his FAMAS and springs Stewie into an early grave. Liquid had everything go in their favor, but now it's a 2v3 retake, and Twist and Grim have their work cut out for them. Collectively, 48 HP. Henny and Yuri alone have more HP than them, but 2 phenomenal aimers. Grim with 1, Twist back against the wall, 2 separate angles to try and fend off against, and the Brazilians will have no chill, no mercy, no prisoners taken. 2-1 to FURIA.
A close on Inferno and just balls of steel on Art. The collateral in that post plant is phenomenal. You could see him trying to track all of those players through the smoke. So much stimulus if you think about what he was trying to process, and he still has the collected ability to stave off the first shot, knowing he would die right after, connects into Grim's legs through a leash, and softens up that post plant strong enough for his team to sweep through. Art was not needed on this 3rd map with a record performance from Vinny. My God, where does he come from? Again, if he is your 5th piece of the puzzle and he can play like that, it is the reason that FURIA are the best team in North America right now. Their record over Liquid in 2020 is now 7-1.
Can't argue with that, Scrawny. I think a lot of people have the conversation, is Liquid or FURIA better? I think FURIA just proved a point.
Yeah, hell yeah, they did. And they didn't need to do it off of the back of art. You know, this is why they are the higher ranked team. And we have the, you know, still props to give to Liquid. We heard that interview before the series goes down. They have at least already met the expectations and performance that they had with Nitro. FURIA have had their number clearly across this year already. Why would Grim's addition possibly change that? It's the fact that Liquid looked this good this quick, and knowing that they have the structure and tools to implement going forward. Vince, we have such a sick rivalry between these teams. If they keep clashing like this and then we re-release NA Counter-Strike onto the world with these two teams in top form, my God, 2020 could deliver, and it absolutely did here tonight. FURIA, congratulations. Take it away, Freya. It's all yours.
A rivalry that runs deeper than any other. It was toe-to-toe in our last map of this series, but ultimately FURIA proved why they deserve to be taking home the crown here at DreamHack Open Summer. An impressive showing from the Brazilians, and Liquid fought tooth and nail, but Christine, it was a thoroughly deserved win for FURIA.
Vinny's smurfing. He's smurfing out there on this Inferno, man. Just the headshots, the snap, you saw it in the last round with that FAMAS. He's running with his knife out, and Stewie, he's like matrixing the bullets, just bobbing and weaving, and he just gets the one tap with the FAMAS of all things. So this was one of those maps where, you know, as a player, sometimes it happens where you can do no wrong. Just you've got the confidence to back it up, and you've got the aim to back it up. And Vinny showed us something that I don't know if I've ever seen before, and it's so exciting to be able to say that about this player, about this team. FURIA absolutely showed up.
And that's the thing as well, we're not looking at Vinny to be that heavy lifter, but looking at the scoreboard, 35 kills, 126 ADR, sorry. It's just so impressive to see him pulling off performances like this. You know, Maui, we're not looking at him to be this star player, but he showed up when we needed him most.
Oh yeah, absolutely. About a year ago, when they decided to replace Able J with Henny, a couple people were thinking, should that be Vinny instead of Able J? But boy, did Vinny prove a point today. He absolutely popped off. Like you said, never supposed to be that guy. He's rarely ever set up to get those frags, but he got so many important kills at so many different times. But man, you gotta give your heart out to Liquid. They played such a great game. It's just that there was no countering Vinny at the end of the day.
It was absolutely incredible to watch. And I do want to pick up on some of the key points in Inferno. You know what? I was going to start off by talking about that T side of FURIA, but actually their CT side looked even better. And it was all about that calculated aggression again, Christine. They were putting so much pressure on Liquid.
Yeah, and even when Liquid looked like they were postured, you know, we talk about the great players setting up in post plans. You hardly see these guys making mistakes, but it wasn't so much the mistakes of Liquid. It was really that aggression from FURIA. No player was willing to just allow Liquid to set up in those optimal positions. Vinny, you see it right there. I mean, even that round, I thought, surely, Liquid, this is it. But it was just relentless. Time after time, each individual coming up from FURIA, we're just not going to allow Liquid to get comfortable at any point. And even this last round, to round things off, Art, he was a little bit quiet, but, you know, when you've got your teammates Smurfing and Vinny, you don't have to be the superstar. But Art, he closes it out in fashion, in style. So, man, this was impressive from FURIA.
It really was. Maui, yourself and I, we were watching in the green room when that moment happened from Art, and we literally said to each other, he's not even, I think at that point he was fourth on the scoreboard. I mean, he didn't really need to do anymore, but the fact that he had the confidence and the audacity to re-pick that angle, man, I think that just exemplifies FURIA's game.
Oh yeah, Art, he never stops pressing that W key. In fact, he's probably calming to his teammates, guys, my W key, it's stuck on my keyboard. I can't stop. He just had to keep going there. Doesn't matter how badly Liquid has his number at that point in the game, he still just keeps going, and it works out. So impressive. Oh man, Art, I love the way this guy just trusts himself, and he's been just so stellar all tournament.
And that's the thing as well. We look at that element of trust, and I feel like they have that lockdown on point, that synergy they have as a team, and it's really trusting in Art's game plan. And I feel like, Christine, that is what we talk about through and through with FURIA, and I'm sure going on forward, they're going to be sticking to that plan.
For sure. I mean, of course, stick to it. It's absolutely working. You know, we keep talking about Henny. He's matured into this player who's able to convert those rounds. We've seen it with his rifle. We've seen it with his AWP. And now Vinny, you know, yesterday I hinted at, I thought he was the most level-headed player on this team because he tends to be the last player alive. Listen, if FURIA can consistently produce these kinds of results where Vinny's closing out the rounds with Henny, Quesarado and Art are creating that chaos that we love, then, man, FURIA, it's going to be hard to counter these guys.
It really is. Maybe straying away from Vinny for just a second. I know he is the star of that final map, and he thoroughly deserves it. But I wanted to pick up on something that you said earlier, Christine, about, you know, that double up setup coming out from FURIA. And I feel like on that CT side, it was really instrumental to their success.
Yeah, it was. And it's so hard to judge these guys, right? Because I say that it's a punishing play, and it absolutely is. But as I mentioned, these FURIA guys are just like Big. They're using these players as weapons and not so much focusing on the weaponry itself. So Art, if you've got a player that's this capable, who's able to make rounds look the way he looks, then yeah, man, send him in there. Get the most expensive weapon on his back and have him create those openings, create that chaos. It's incredible.
It really is incredible to witness. I do want to pick up on Liquid though, because I feel like you were sort of saying, Christine, earlier, you don't know whether it was a question of, you know, FURIA just having too much firepower and too much aggression, or potentially there being some slight holes for Liquid, especially in that second half. And I was wondering from your perspective, Maui, what did you kind of make from them? Because they were looking really, really solid up until those final few moments.
Yeah, I think the way that they started map 3 was just a little bit too slow at the gates. I think it was a 7-1 lead at one point for FURIA. The economy was completely in their control. I said in the pregame that FURIA, if they wanted to win, they should just keep their foot on the throats of Liquid, just keep pressuring that economy, and it's exactly what they did. It didn't matter if it was a half buy or how many players had to pick up a deagle. I think one round was Quesarado on a deagle, no armor, but I think that was the one that broke Liquid's economy to start the game. They just don't even care. They just are so aggressive. They're in your faces. They just throw all of these. They have good flashes as well, and they're scaling. It's so aggressive. It's so hard to stop. And on those kind of rounds where Liquid, they're kind of working with scraps, maybe it's an MP9 or a FAMAS in the spot that's supposed to be an M4, then you're not going to find those multi-frags. And that's when FURIA pounces. That's when they get control of the map. That's when they take the game.
I think that's the thing that is so heartbreaking for the side of Liquid, that it wasn't necessarily that they played badly. It's just, how do you counter stuff like that when FURIA is throwing so much against you? I saw loads of people tweeting saying, he must be the most annoying person to play against because you just don't know where he is. And then Vinny coming out on the same side and doing that on Inferno, it is just such a testament to their team. But I also want to give some props to the Liquid side because, man, we've seen Grim really, really step up. He has filled the big shoes of Nitro that were left. And Christine, I think, you know, we need to give a bit of a shout out to him.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, listen, if Liquid were to win this series, we were absolutely going to pick Grim to be the MVP. We have to remember, yesterday we were talking about how this is the first time Grim has made it to a semifinals of a DreamHack. Today, he just showcased a mad performance in the grand finals. You know, and the great thing, there's a doorbell. I
mean, we're being interrupted, and I love who we're being interrupted by. Of course, FURIA are here to join us. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Massive congratulations to you guys. Can you just describe to me how you're feeling right now being Liquid?
Amazing. Last time they beat us, and I just wanting to revenge them. And this is an opportunity to win, and we just took it. Just too happy to describe right now.
You got your revenge indeed, and it looks so convincing. Everybody on your side, you just looked awesome. But I do want to pick up on Vinny's performance in that last map. Can you kind of talk to me about how he was allowed? I mean, are we getting him on camera? That would be okay. There we go. The man himself. Can you talk to me about Vinny's performance and, you know, how he was set up on that map? Because he looked so good.
Vinny, he's growing a lot along this year. So I'm very proud about this game of today from him because he always on the media thing. He's the underhyped, and no one thinks he play good, but he's like the base for our team. He always smile like you guys always see, and he's like too solid right now, you know. Like last year, he kind of get a lot of mistakes, and we always talk about it. And today and this year, he's growing a lot, and I'm very, very proud about him.
Yeah, speaking of the development of Vinny, in how he improved, I think he's usually at the bottom of the scoreboard, but how do you think he reaches so deep and finds that kind of courage, that kind of success? I mean, where does the skill come from? Is it always there? Or is he just like, how did he show up in map 3? What do you think did it?
His skill is always there because when we like we play just for fun, like 1v1s, 2v2s, he always beating us. He has like the mechanics very good. He's like the most. I think he's on the best of his skills on the team. But Vinny, he don't make mistakes like with the mechanics. He make mistakes with decisions, and we're trying to fix that. And today, he was on point.
Art, I have to ask, this series, it was much closer than I think I anticipated, and you guys looked so dominant. Could you feel a difference? Could you feel a difference between a Nitro Liquid versus a Grim Liquid? And does it look scarier? Does it feel scarier in that server?
It's hard for me to say because I don't feel like scared by anybody. For me to notice in game, it's hard
obvious.
for me to say. Yeah, it's something like that, but I don't know what's the difference because I was just too focused on making good calls and not worrying about who's there. I actually didn't ever remember Green or anybody just killing me because I don't care who is there. Just it can be 5 bots. I don't know the names. I don't care.
Fearless, ever fearless Art. And you know what? That's exactly
I respect
what
them a lot.
love.
They're one of the best of NA, maybe the best team probably right now. But it doesn't matter if I face Astralis or Liquid or Chaos or anybody on the scene. It's the same.
It's incredible to see you guys performing. And you know what? You have so many passionate fans behind you. So I'm going to open the floor. Do you want to have any final words to say to your fans?
Always. Molecada, jogaço. Hoje o bagulho foi louco. A gente lutou até o final, mesmo perdendo o primeiro mapa, a gente não desistiu. Eu imagino que vocês em casa também não desistiram, porque o brasileirinho é assim, né, mano? Desistir nunca, nós é merecedor. Então, mano, primeiro queria agradecer pela torcida e segundo por botar a FURIA nos trade topics do Twitter, mano. O dia de FURIA tá bombando. Então, Guerrizão, deixa papo com você. É nóis, molecada. Valeu.
Rapaziada, sem palavras, muito obrigado por tudo que vocês estão fazendo por nós, toda a torcida. A gente tá aqui dando o nosso máximo e vamos continuar dando. Então, muito obrigado e até o próximo campeonato. Dia de FURIA, porra.
Dia de FURIA, caralho.
Absolute pleasure to have you guys joining us. Massive congratulations to you once again. And we'll leave you to go off and celebrate, gentlemen.
Thank you. We're gonna celebrate for sure.
Thanks a lot. I speak a little bit of Portuguese. And I know that Larry at one point said that I have no words, but he said a lot of words to his fans right there. So
our local translator here in Maui, you know what? They should be going off and celebrating. Indeed, fantastic to get to speak to them as always. And you know what? I think it is time that we crown our player of the tournament here in the NA division. And you know what, Christine? I'm going to hand this honor over to you because I think it's there's only one person we could pick.
There is only one person. Listen, Vinny almost stole the show today. He tried his damnedest, but it's got to be Art. It certainly has to be Art. The amount of pressure that this man applies to all of his opponents, you heard it there in the interview. He does not care who he's playing in that server. He's going to stick to his guns. He's going to stick to what his logic is and how he views the game. And let me tell you, how he views the game right now, it's exciting and it's working. The results speak for themselves. Art is just, he's wild.
He really is. It's awesome to see some of his highlights that have been played out here. And I think what's so special about him, especially as an in-game leader, is not giving up underway of that pressure. Because as you said, Christine, he does not care who he's facing on that server. And it just really translates into the game, doesn't it, Maui?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The way he makes so much space for his team, even when these plays don't work. We're seeing all the highlights, it working every time, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes he gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar. But the thing that's so impressive about FURIA behind that is that they can use that info and make so many good educated guesses, decisions, and with the consistency behind them, players like K Serato, Yuri, Henny now on the roster. I mean, and it's just so crazy the way that they are able to shift their defenses or maybe make a more structured attack based off of it. FURIA has one of the most interesting systems in place right now in Counter-Strike, and I'm so glad that it's working because it is so exciting.
Yeah, it's the best thing to see pay off when somebody innovates something and it just really continues to work. So I'm so excited to see what they're going to be doing going forward. But I'm also excited to be crowning our top 5 plays of the day. And this time it is of the entire tournament. So we're going to be throwing some of these plays back to see some of the earlier days. But I think we're going to be starting off with a semi-final showing here from Katie and Christine.
Yes, and this was actually Cadian just closing out this overpass. He was a little bit quiet on this map in particular, but this is Cadian showcasing exactly why he's the primary. And you know, as the in-game leader for Heroic, they had a fantastic showing throughout this entire DreamHack Open.
They really did. And then number 4 is PRT over on day 6. And this was beautiful, Maui.
Oh yeah, PRT really showing up big against Cloud9. A huge upset victory for them here. And man, I gotta take my hat off to Team 1 because they shocked us. And PRT in particular did a great job.
Speaking about Cloud9 as well, OC, he really turned up to be the clutch master, didn't he, Christine?
The clutch master indeed. This was just one of the many, many rounds that he was actually able to convert. And it's so great to see OC, the player, the AWPer on this Cloud9 roster, stepping up when it matters most. And hey, if the rest of Cloud9 can kind of follow suit, then this young team have a bright future.
This one had to be in here, didn't it, Maui?
Oh my
this was
God.
just such BM.
Yeah, this was crazy. Big were feeling themselves from the previous map, and Keto busts out the dualies. Sometimes you'll see these maybe on Nuke at the top of Hut, but Keto just decides to take it towards Banana, and he aces with it.
And Config is going to be coming in at number 1, Christine.
This is the play of the entire tournament. Just the 52% eco-round conversions that Haka pointed out. It's an impressive stat coming out for Complexity, and it's because of these capable deaglers. Config in particular, he's able to turn this round into an ace, and it was beautiful. Config is an exciting player to watch.
He is indeed. I feel like I haven't been able to catch my breath since that last moment of that FURIA game. They just looked absolutely incredible. And I want to get your closing thoughts, Christine. How has this tournament been for you? Are you surprised with any of the results that we've been seeing?
You know, I'm impressed. I think I am surprised. I'm surprised at how Heroic have bounced back since losing a lot of their members. We've had a lot of roster changes. We've had a lot of questions coming into this tournament after that player break. What kind of form these players are going to be in? I don't think FURIA have skipped a beat. They seem to be in full force right now. Haven't let go of the gas pedal. Liquid as well. I mean, this tournament answers a lot of questions, but I think it still leaves some to be answered. NA, FURIA are holding on to that throne, but Liquid, they're right there nipping at their heels.
They really are. I feel like, you know what, if FURIA is saying that they had some time off in player break, I think they're lying. There is absolutely no way that they took any time away from this game. They looked so unstoppable in that final series. And for you, Maui, it must be impressive to see some of these teams coming off a player break, some with roster changes, particularly Liquid, you know, really showing up here.
Oh yeah, I love how Liquid's been playing, actually. It felt like in that grand finals right there that both of those teams were they're allergic to 5v5s. They just want to run at each other constantly. And I love that look for Liquid because sometimes it felt like they would slow the game down a little bit, maybe get in their own heads. But today I felt like they were in full force. They weren't able to win it out, but they looked excellent with Grim. I gotta give a shout out to Grim because he really stunned us. Didn't know how he would fare against the top competition in North America, but he blew us away.
Yeah, and considering this is his first tournament coming in with Liquid, none other than Liquid as well, we have to remember that this is the first time that Grim has been on a roster of this caliber. He has looked so impressive. I'm so excited to see what he'll be achieving going forward. But I think all there is left to say is thank you so much to our wonderful sponsors, Monster Energy, Corsair, and Intel. Without you guys, none of this action would have been possible. And it's been a wonderful journey here at DreamHack Open Summer. But I think this is kind of it, guys. It's time to bid each other farewell. It's been an absolute pleasure to be on this virtual desk with you guys. It's been such a journey and I've enjoyed every single second of it. And of course, thank you so much to our casters and all of you guys watching at home. And a special shout out to the guys in production as well. It's been absolutely spectacular that we still get to put on these tournaments here at home. And I love every single one of you. Thank you for making such an enjoyable day. And of course, thank you one last time to everybody watching at home. It's been such a spectacular tournament. Big shout out to both of our winners, FURIA and Big, for their incredible journey here at DreamHack Open Summer. It's been an incredible ride, and we'll see you guys very soon.